Good morning, students. In the last class, we focused on regarding this xenobiotics and endogenous substances with respect to foreign molecules, how it is undergoing oxidation reactions in the phase 1, right? So, today let us move on to the phase 1 reaction continuation, that is oxidation of aromatic hydrocarbons. How this oxidation of this aromatic hydrocarbon is going to takes place or happen. These are going to be oxidized to phenolic compounds which can be further conjugated with the glucuronic acids or sulfuric acids in the phase 2 reaction, which is going to happen, that is conjugation reactions which is going to happen in the phase 2 reaction. So once after the formation of this phenol, for example, you can see here benzene is getting converted to, that is getting oxidized to phenol. So this phenolic compound which can be further conjugated with glucuronic acid or sulfuric acid in the phase 2 reaction, which is going to be excreted through the urine. After the conjugation reaction which is going to happen in phase 2, then it has to be excreted through the urine. Coming for this oxidation of aldehydes likewise, so these aldehydes are going to be oxidized to corresponding acids. For example, benzaldehyde is getting oxidized to benzoic acid. So you can see here, right, the acid which is going to be formed is further conjugated in the phase 2 reaction, right. So the benzoic acid which is formed in the phase 1, it is going to be conjugated with the glycine molecule in the phase 2 to form the hippuric acid, right. So you might have come across this in a detailed mechanism, biotransformation mechanism in physiology topics, right. So this benzoic acid which is going to be conjugated with the glycine to form hippuric acid. So this reaction which is going to take place in the liver especially, right. So this hippuric acid which is excretion test, this hippuric acid once after the conjugation which is going to be excreted in the urine, this excretion test which is going to be undertaken in order to determine the detoxification functions of the liver, whether the liver can carry out detoxification mechanism functioning properly or not. In order to check that, so the hippuric acid once after the formation, that is in conjugation with the glycine molecule, hippuric acid is going to be formed. So this is going to be excreted in the urine, then it has been taken for the test in order to see whether the liver is functioning properly or not. Coming for this likewise oxidation of anilides, if you come across for the anilides, if you see this reaction, biotransformation reaction, so these are going to be oxidized to corresponding phenols, like same like what we have seen, benzene to phenol. So here also we can make out acetanilide is an example. You can see acetanilide is an constituent of the analgesic drug, right. So it is going to be oxidized in the body to form para-acetyl aminophenol, right. So it is acting as an analgesic compound, so drug. So it is going to be oxidized in the body to form para-acetyl aminophenol, right. So I have shown you in this way, like acetanilide, you can make out your white color. So the compound, so the acetanilide which is getting oxidized to form para-acetyl aminophenol. Coming for the oxidation of amines, so these amines, especially many primary aliphatic amines which undergo oxidation in order to form the corresponding acids and nitrogen which is further converted to urea molecule, right. So this, for example, benzylamine is getting converted to urea, right. So this urea further, right, is going to be excreted, right. So aromatic amines like aniline can also undergo oxidation to form corresponding phenols, right. It can also form phenols. So aromatic amines can like aniline can form phenols. So benzylamine which is giving you acid, benzoic acid as well as urea. So likewise you can also see here some oxidation of sulfur containing compounds, that is sulfur which is present in the organic compounds is going to be oxidized to sulfate ions. So this is going to be oxidized to sulfate ions, that is SO42 minus. You can see one of the drug which is getting oxidized. So you can see here meprobamate which is getting oxidized to form hydroxymeprobamate, right? And likewise chloral is also undergoing oxidation to form trichloroacetic acid. So the sulfur, these are the sulfur containing some organic compounds, that is sulfate ions will be present in this particular drug which is getting oxidized to the respective metabolites, right? So if you see some of the other certain compounds which is resulting in the production of certain more toxic compounds, example intoxication, which we saw in yesterday's class, methanol toxicity, right? That is intoxication. So if you see there that this particular compounds which is getting oxidized to form more toxic compounds, then they are going to be further resulting in the therefore you can prevent this formation. Their formation can be prevented by undergoing this kind of oxidation, that is methanol to formic acid, halogenated alcohol to halogenated acid, and ethylene glycol to oxalic acid. So these are the compounds which are resulting in the production of more toxic compounds, that is intoxication is going to happen. Then their formation can be prevented by undergoing this kind of oxidation, that is methanol to formic acid, halogenated alcohols to halogenated acids, and even ethylene glycol to oxalic acids. So these are all the oxidation reactions which it is coming under oxidation, that is in phase 1. So coming for the next, reduction reactions. So the reduction which does not occur extensively in case of human beings, example you can see here this reduction of aldehydes, example chloral which gives you trichloroethanol, right? So chloral which gives you trichloroethanol, there chloral was getting oxidized to form trichloroacetic acid, their oxidation was happening, here reduction is happening. So this trichloroethanol which is going to be further excreted after conjugation with D-glucuronic acid, right? So D-glucuronic acid, it is going to be conjugated with D-glucuronic acid to form corresponding glucuronide, So this is the process of conjugation, that's how which is going to happen. If you come across for certain number of nitro compounds, so reduction of nitro compounds, if you come across here, para-nitrobenzene is getting reduced to para-aminobenzene, right? Para-nitrobenzene is getting reduced to para-aminobenzene, and para-nitrophenol is getting reduced to para-aminophenol. So you can make out here para-nitrophenol formation, right? Para-nitrophenol, which is the structure of this, and it is getting reduced to para-aminophenol. So you will have your NH2 group and OH group in the para-aminophenol. So this is how the reduction which is going to happen. So coming for the next process, that is hydrolysis process in case of phase 1 reactions. So here certain therapeutic compounds which can also undergo hydrolysis process, for example acetyl salicylic acid. So these acetyl salicylic acid molecules which is undergoing hydrolysis to form acetic acid and salicylic acid after the addition of water molecule. So the water molecule is going to be hydrolyzing this acetyl salicylic acid into acetic acid and salicylic plus salicylic acid. Same way like atropine which is getting hydrolyzed to tropic acid plus tropine, whereas digital is also getting hydrolyzed to sugar plus a glycone, right? And same way you can see here, that is procaine is also getting hydrolyzed to para-aminobenzoic acid plus diethyl aminoethanol. So these are the compounds, hydrolyzed compounds which are going to be formed from the respective substrate molecules. So you can see in this slide, that is procaine. This is the procaine which is getting hydrolyzed to para-aminobenzoic acid. I have shown you one example here. You can make out para-aminobenzoic acid plus diethyl aminoethanol will be the products, that is hydrolyzed products which are formed from procaine. This is very important. Please concentrate on this reaction in case of hydrolysis. Coming for the phase 1 reaction enzymes. What are all the enzymes which are involved in the phase 1 reactions? We will recall. So these particular reactions, mainly catalyzed reactions by the members of these class of enzymes referred as monooxygenases. So they are going to be referred as monooxygenases, that is nothing but mixed function oxidases or cytochrome P450 monooxygenase. They are referred as mixed function oxidases or cytochrome P450 monooxygenase. So other enzymes of this particular phase 1 reactions which will have a significance are aldehyde and alcohol dehydrogenase, and as well as deaminases, esterases, amidases. So these are all the other enzymes which will also play a very important role, what we have seen in phase 1 reactions. So these are also involved in this particular which will show a very important significance in carrying out this phase 1 reactions along with monooxygenase enzyme systems or cytochrome P450 monooxygenase. So coming for this cytochrome, what is this cytochrome P450 enzyme system? So let us see, we will focus on the properties of this human cytochrome P450 monooxygenase enzyme system. So the reaction which is catalyzed by this monooxygenase cytochrome P450, we can see here. So RH plus oxygen plus NADPH molecule which is going to act as a cofactor, which gives you ROH plus H2O, water molecule will be released, as well as NADP plus, right? NADP plus is going to be synthesized. So here RH, which is going to represent a wide variety of xenobiotic compounds. That xenobiotic compounds may be, that is foreign substances, may be drugs, carcinogens, or it may be pesticides, and even the petroleum products and even the pollutants, which can be the mixtures of this PCBs. So in addition to these endogenous compounds, in addition to these xenobiotic compounds, that is those exogenous compounds, along with that, so it also includes endogenous compounds such as certain steroids, eicosanoids, fatty acids. That is, eicosanoids you might have already studied in your lipid metabolisms and all, or lipids biomolecules, that is C20 carbon compound, right? So fatty acids and even retinoids are also acting as a substrates along with these exogenous substances. These are all include as an endogenous substances. So the substrates which are generally lipophilic in nature are going to be made more hydrophilic by this hydroxylation mechanism or hydroxylation process. So we can make these substrate molecules which are going to be lipophilic, which can be made it as hydrophilic, or it can be rendered into hydrophilic in nature through this, by going through this hydroxylation process mechanism. So what are these properties of human cytochrome P450s? Let us see now in this slide. So it mainly involved in phase 1 of the metabolism of these innumerable xenobiotic compounds, that is foreign substances which we considered as. So these are involved in the metabolism of many endogenous compounds also. This human cytochrome P450 monooxygenase along with the exogenous substances metabolism, it also involved in the endogenous metabolism of endogenous compounds also. All are hemoproteins. These are going to be acting as a hemoproteins. These are going to exhibit broad substrate specificity which acts on many compounds. By acting as a by exhibiting broad substrate specificity, so it can act on many compounds, and it is extremely versatile catalyst, perhaps catalyzed about 60 types of reactions which you can come across. Involvement of the cytochrome P450 monooxygenase enzyme systems, you can see 60 types of reactions which are going to happen by utilizing this enzyme. So basically they catalyze reactions involving introduction of one atom of oxygen into the substrate molecule. So you are this particular enzyme involving reactions, if you come across or if you make out in the further slides, so just introducing one atom of the oxygen into the substrate molecule and the other atom into the water. We are substituting one atom of the oxygen to the substrate, another atom to the water. that is they are acting as a dioxygenase. Dioxygenase enzymatic mechanism, which you might have studied in the third semester metabolism when I was explaining you metabolism, that is amino acid metabolism in case of phenylalanine, right? What is the mechanism of this dioxygenase enzyme? So conversion of phenylalanine to tyrosine, right? So there you can see this particular how the incorporation of one atom of oxygen into the substrate molecule is going to be done, and other atom of the oxygen into the water molecule. So very important properties of this cytochrome P450 is a very important role. Their location will be in case of liver, which contains the large amount of this cytochrome P450, but found in found in most of the tissues, if not in all the tissues. So you can include this particular presence of this cytochrome enzymes in case of small intestine, brain and lungs. So these are also located in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum or in mitochondria, that is steroidogenic hormones. So in some cases their products are mutagenic or carcinogenic in nature. So they are going to be the products which are going to be formed by the action of this enzyme are going to be mutagenic in nature. The mutations, how the particular mutated form of the gene mutagenic and as well as carcinogenic in nature. Whereas we will discuss in the later classes what about this mutagenicity and carcinogenicity. So many will have a molecular mass of about 55 kilodalton. So many are inducible, which mainly resulting in one cause of the drug interactions. So many are going to be inhibited by various drugs or their metabolic products, providing another cause for the drug interactions. So some exhibits genetic polymorphism, which can result in the atypical drug metabolism. So some are going to show some changes in the genetic level, genetic polymorphism, so which can result in atypical drug metabolism. So whatever the product which is going to be formed, there will be a change in the genetic level. That mutation has been happened in the particular product level, as well as some products which are going to be formed or will be carcinogenic. So these are the properties of this particular P450 cytochrome P450 monooxygenase. Coming for the next phase 2 reaction, that is nothing but conjugation. So what we discussed in phase 1, oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis. So let us move on to the phase 2 conjugation process. So it is a process by which the foreign molecules and their metabolites are going to be coupled with the conjugating agent. Understanding? So you are going to couple this particular foreign molecule and their metabolites are going to be coupled with a conjugating agent and are converted to a soluble non-toxic derivatives, right? So the toxic compound and insoluble compound are getting converted to soluble and non-toxic derivatives, which are easily excreted in the form of urine, that is which can be easily excreted through the urine. I'll repeat it once again. Sorry. Conjugation is a process by which the foreign molecules and their metabolites are going to be coupled with the conjugating agent and then converted to soluble and non-toxic derivatives, which are easily excreted through urine. So this is referred as conjugation process. Clear? Very, very important. This phase 2 reactions also, please concentrate. Coming for the conjugation reactions, what are the things which we can come across? These conjugation reactions are which can occur independently or it can follow the phase 1, that is hydroxylation reactions. And conjugations can take place primarily in the liver but can occur in kidney also. After conjugation, the products which are going to be formed are generally rendered non-toxic, but in certain conditions they are going to be left unchanged or become more toxic. Understanding? So in some cases, in some conditions, in certain conditions, we cannot change that. It will be left changed and it cannot be converting into non-toxic. It will be becoming, rather than non-toxic, more toxic compound. right? So these are the conditions, or these are the things where you are going to come across while carrying out conjugation process, right? While happening this conjugation reaction mechanism. Coming for the types of phase 2 reactions, which are all the types which can be discussed in the phase 2. Glucuronidation, that is a very very important conjugation reaction. Sulfation and acetylation, methylation, conjugation with amino acids, conjugation with GSH, that is glutathione. Understanding? So today now we will discuss glucuronidation, sulfation and acetylation majorly, right? So first is the glucuronidation. What is going to happen? What is this glucuronidation? So this is the most frequent conjugation reaction which is going to take place. So here UDP glucuronic acid, which is, that is UDPG, right? UDP glucuronic acid is the glucuronil donor. Here this is going to act as a glucuronil donor, which is formed in the uronic acid pathway, which you have studied in your second semester MSc classes. So this is going to be formed in the uronic acid pathway. Just recall of the glucose metabolism. So where this glucuronil transferase, which is going to be present in both the endoplasmic reticulum and the cytosol, are going to act as a catalysts to carry out this particular glucuronidation reaction, right? So here you are going to see the transfer of this particular glucuronil molecule from this UDPG, which you can observe in the particular reaction by the help of the enzyme glucuronyl or glucuronil transferase. So the glucuronide, which is going to be attached to the oxygen, nitrogen or even sulfur groups of the substrate molecules, which you are going to take the substrate as a substrate molecule. So this glucuronide is going to come and attach to the oxygen molecule or to the nitrogen or to the sulfur groups of this substrate. Then it is going to give the conjugated product. So this glucuronidation, where we can see these are the compounds where conjugated with this glucuronic acids. These can be the compounds: bilirubin, aromatic acids such as benzoic acid, you can give the example, and phenols, especially secondary and tertiary aliphatic alcohols, and some antibiotics like chloramphenicol, and hormones, that is thyroid hormones, derivatives of corticosteroids, and sex hormones and metabolites, right? So these are all the compounds which can be conjugated with this glucuronic acids and undergo this glucuronidation mechanism with the help of this glucuronil transferases enzyme. Is it clear? Okay, we can see here one example I have shown you, glucuronidation mechanism. So this glucuronidation of bilirubin is happening here. UDP glucose is going to be reacting. Now it is undergoing conjugation to form, particularly it is conjugated with the glucuronic acid molecule, right? So it is conjugating with the glucuronic acid, right? So UDP glucose plus glucuronic acid, which is UDP glucuronic acid. So it is catalyzed by the enzyme UDP glucuronic acid dehydrogenase. So here NAD plus is going to act as a cofactor, right? Here NAD plus is acting as a cofactor to form NADH plus H plus, right? NADH plus H plus. So you can see here in the particular bilirubin molecule also glucuronidation reaction mechanism. So UDP glucuronic acid is conjugating with the bilirubin to form bilirubin monoglucuronide plus UDP. UDP is going to be released, right? Once after glucuronic acid is getting conjugated with this bilirubin to form bilirubin monoglucuronide, UDP is going to be released with the help of this enzyme UDP glucuronil transferase. Is it clear? So UDP glucose, how it is going to be conjugated with this glucuronic acid molecule. First generation of this So this how this UDP glucose is undergoing dehydrogenation to form this glucuronic acid molecule is the first step where we can come across. Next step, UDP glucuronic acid which is formed is undergoing conjugation with the bilirubin to form bilirubin monoglucuronide plus UDP catalyzed by UDP glucuronyl transferase. This is very important reaction in case of glucuronidase. Please glucuronidation, please concentrate and remember. Coming for the next conjugation, you can see here, once after the glucuronidation of the bilirubin, what is going to happen? This bilirubin monoglucuronide is going to react with the UDP glucuronic acid, and then it is forming again it is going to react, conjugate with one more time with the UDP glucuronic acid to form bilirubin diglucuronide plus UDP. Again one more UDP is going to be released, so which is catalyzed by again the same enzyme UDP glucuronyl transferase. So here most of the bilirubin which is going to be excreted in the bile of the mammals, right, which will be in the form of bilirubin diglucuronide. It will be in the form of bilirubin diglucuronide once after conjugating with the bilirubin and once after conjugating with your again glucuronic acid, bilirubin with a glucuronic acid, and then it forms bilirubin monoglucuronide. Then it is again conjugating with one more time with one more glucuronic acid, UDP glucuronic acid molecule to form bilirubin diglucuronide. It is going to be excreted in the bile of the mammals. So this particular activity of this bilirubin UDP glucuronyl transferase activity can be induced by a number of clinically useful drugs including phenobarbital. So this is going to act as a inducer molecule to activate this bilirubin UDP glucuronyl transferase activity, right? So coming for this is how about glucuronidation. Coming for the next, that is sulfation reaction, how it is going to happen. So the sulfate donor here, it is adenosine 3-phosphate 5-phosphosulfate. Understanding? Sulfate donor will be PAPS, that is adenosine 3-phosphate 5-phosphosulfate. This compound is called as active sulfate. So the enzyme involved in this mechanism is sulfotransferase. Carrying out sulfation reaction, the enzyme is very important. Sulfotransferase is the enzyme which is involved in the particular sulfation reaction where the sulfate compounds containing or the substrate containing sulfate sulfur group, right? Compounds which are going to be conjugated with the sulfate. Here you can see these are the compounds: phenols, cresols, indole, steroids, estrogen and androgens, tyrosine, in order to form tyrosine orthosulfate, which is further required for the formation of fibrinogen molecule. So these are the compounds which are getting conjugated with the sulfate compounds, right? Sulfate groups. So you can see glycosamine glycans also, and glycolipids also, and glycoproteins also. So these are the compounds which are going to be conjugated with this sulfate ions, or the sulfate molecules, which is that is compounds containing sulfate ions, which will be undergoing the sulfation process or sulfation sulfation reaction, which is catalyzed by sulfotransferase enzyme. You can see here in this slide. So this sulfotransferase is going to be localized in the cytosol, where it is transferring sulfate moiety mainly to the hydroxyl group of the phenol. Sulfate moiety is going to be transferred to the hydroxyl group of the phenol. So the donor of the sulfate is here is PAPS, right? Active sulfate molecule, which is synthesized from the 2 molecules of ATP and 1 molecule of sulfate, right? 2 molecules of ATP is involved and 1 molecule of sulfate is involved. So it is getting particularly sulfate moiety is going to be transferred to the hydroxyl group of the phenol. You can make out here ortho sulfuric acid, right? SO3H. You can see phenyl sulfuric acid is going to be formed. Understanding? Phenyl sulfuric acid. Now coming for the acetylation process, which is going to happen. So this acetylation is the third reaction in case of phase 2. So this acetylation is going to be represented by, you can make out here, X, which is reacting with acetyl coenzyme A, CH3C double bond O SCOA, which gives rise to acetyl group, and X, which is interacting with the X molecule. Here X representing the xenobiotic compound or the foreign substance or the drug, any drug, carcinogens, plus coenzyme A will be released, right? So xenobiotic compound or the foreign substrate is going to be conjugated with this your acetyl molecule, and coenzyme A will be released back, right? So this acetyl CoA here is active acetate, which is the acetyl donor group, right? Acetyl coenzyme A is donating the acetyl group to the particular, it is going and attaching to this xenobiotic substance, right? That is a foreign substance which is attaching to this acetyl group. So these reactions are going to be catalyzed by specific enzymes like acetyl transferases for the transfer of acetyl group present in the cytosol of the various tissues, especially in the liver. So you can come across polymorphic types of acetyl transferases which can also exist, resulting in individuals who are classified as slow or fast acetylators. Those individuals are classified as slow or even fast acetylators. So where the influence, the rate of this particular, and the influence of this particular polymorphic types, which the rate of the clearance of this particular drug from the blood is going to be different, right? In case of polymorphic types of acetyl transferases. So you can see here, slow acetylators are more subjected to certain toxic effects of these drugs, because the drugs persists inside because the drug which is going to persist longer in these particular individuals or the species, right? So why it is going to be slow? Because of they are going to be subjected to certain toxic effects of this drug because of the long persistence of this particular drug inside their body. So this is how this particular polymorphic types can be classified, that is slow or the fast acetylators. Coming for this acetylation process, where the compounds which is going to be conjugated by the acetylation are includes sulfanilamide. Sulfanilamide can be, these are the compounds which can be conjugated with the acetyl moiety, acetyl groups, para-aminobenzoic acid, and as well as isoniazid, right? So you can see here I have shown you the one example, that is para-aminobenzoic acid, PABA. So it is getting that is undergoing acetylation reaction with the help of the enzyme acetyl transferases. So here acetyl moiety, acetyl group will be transferred. So you can see here in the acetylated para-aminobenzoic acid, that is acetylated form, where you can come across the acetyl group which is going to be attached to this particular NH2 molecule, right? Is it clear? Okay. So these are all the phase 2, that is in phase 2 I have discussed only 3 reactions till now. So we will focus another 3 reactions in the next class. If you have any doubts, please message me, call me, please go through. This is very important topic as per your examination is concerned. Thank you.